However, one stubborn inspector, Commander Pelia, stays on board and heads to the bridge. She's puzzled by the sudden intermix chamber trouble after 3 days of it being inspected. As a warp core expert who teaches at Starfleet Academy, she spawns mental simulation on the computer and realizes they plan to swipe the Enterprise. That's a pretty big swing for her to take that and equal that, but she does figure it out right away.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if she just did that on another ship and they were just doing some kind of evacuation drill.
Yeah. It would be kind of fun to see somebody miss that, get it completely wrong. So she confronts Spock, and his Vulcan honestly confirms her suspicion. She's amused by a Vulcan following a hunch, especially the son of Amanda Grayson, which was a hell of a name drop. Spock's surprised she knows his mom, but before he can dig deeper, Pelia suggests they steal the ship the right way, and even asks Ortegas about venting plasma from the nacelles, leaving everyone baffled. Spock questions her motives, but Pelia offers a simple choice: chat or act. Spock opts for action and orders Ortegas to vent the nacelles. The alarms blare at Starbase 1, signaling the Enterprise's trouble. The station's control unlocks the docking clamps and instructs the ship to, skedaddle. Pelia, offering her services as chief engineer, quips it's been a century since she had her own engines, and Ortegas raises an eyebrow, but Pelia hints it's a lengthy tale. Uhura identifies Pelia as a lanthanite, and she cheerfully confirms it before stepping into the turbo lift. Now, I immediately got Guinan vibes from this character.
Yeah, that was actually one of the notes that I left for my second watch through as well, is why didn't they just go with Ilarian?
Yeah, I got some heavy-duty Guinan right out of her. And then referencing her accent, did you ever watch the TV show Taxi?
I did not.
Okay, so Andy Kaufman, while he was busy also having a wrestling career against Jerry Lawler at the time, they introduced a wife for his character on Taxi, who was played by Carol Kane. And Carol Kane used a very similar accent for that character. Now, if I remember to do so, I should go dig up a sound clip of it and play it here.
Talk is cheap. I want your body.
But just in case I forget. But she used a similar accent to Pelia's accent, which I thought was interesting.
I got, it might be a bit of a stretch for a reference, but have you ever seen The Nanny with Fran Drescher?
Yes. So, back in the day.
Yeah, I used to watch that when I was a kid because that was coming on Nick at Night all the time next to Full House. But, she reminds me a lot of Sylvia, her mother in that show.
Okay, I don't remember that character.
Yeah, you could probably drop a little sound clip right here.
Such a big potato for such a little girl.
But definitely a cross between Sylvia Fine and Alfred from Batman and how handy she ends up becoming to the Enterprise crew. And definitely a great follow-up character for Hemmer, who met an unfortunate, untimely fate last season.
Yes, Hemmer, who was a great engineer and a great character and who met a very heroic end. I was wondering how they would replace him. And when they said it was Carol Kane, I kind of scratched my head. But you know what? I'm cool with it.
Yep, it's always nice because they always seem to know what they're doing. I haven't seen them miss with casting quite yet, in my opinion. But I'm hoping that they keep batting 1,000 on that. Yep.
That was very good. So while they blow the clamps and they take off, Starbase 1 keeps hailing them, but Spock just kind of goes, you know what, just forget it, and let's head for Catchatar. As they get ready to enter warp, Ortegas asks Spock what his catchphrase is going to be. Are you going to say the thing? They give a couple examples, and Spock deadpans. So silly. I'd like the ship to go. Now, but they close in on his face like he's about to say something epic. And he just goes, I'd like the ship to go now. The crew chuckles as Ortegas kicks the Enterprise into warp.
Just real quick, I can't believe that they were rushing to steal the ship and were able to stop for a whole 2-minute conversation about catchphrases.
Yeah, that was one that the handling of that made me kind of just raise an eyebrow a little bit. Like, shouldn't you guys get moving? Like you've already been given.
Catchphrase is going to be "I plead the fifth" in about 5 minutes. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I was going to say you've already been given the order. Just go now. You know. All right, so they finally, after 20 minutes, get off into warp speed. Oh, and we head on to the next area. Blood wine for nothing and phasers for free. In Kajitar 4's bustling settlement, Liane gets dragged into a drinking game with a Klingon named Kardok. Struggling to hide her disgust at blood wine, surprisingly Kardok can't handle his liquor and loses. Liane switches seats with him and tosses some credits, revealing her true intentions. She persuades the Klingon to set up a meeting with Greynax, but warns that he might not be thrilled to meet a human. Liane pushes for a meeting that night. As the Klingons depart, she spots Mbenga, who gives her the cryptic finger under the eye line, which we still haven't had explained to us, which we may never have explained to us.